Hey nerds, Sage is here. So one thing first, I apologize if my voice sounds hoarse at all. I've been talking all day, I feel it's about to go, so after this I'm going to go and take a moment to relax and not worry about things, but we will discuss probably something that honestly, it was kind of surprising, so I guess I'll just explain this a little bit too. Saturday, which is yesterday, I guess, because it's 3 a.m., in the afternoon, I was playing Smite, and someone recognized my name in there. They played a mean Archeo, by the way, so if you were around here watching or listening to this, I would love to see in the comments again. It was really nice talking to you. Didn't mean to, didn't add you as a friend in Smite for some reason. I'm a bit of a ditz. Do apologize for that. But we were talking about things. We were talking about Fire Emblem Heroes content, because they liked watching my stuff, and, the voting gauntlet came up, and, yeah, I guess we'll talk about this as I can, try and explain what I feel about this. Simply put, the voting gauntlet is the weakest portion of the game right now. It is the worst game mode in this game right now for a multitude of reasons. Mostly, well, there's a lot of lack of things to do, and they don't really motivate you to do much outside of, well, especially now with the current point system. So I guess we'll try to explain this, but to explain it, we need to actually look back at the past voting gauntlets to give you an idea of what changed. Granted, we're in a lot better shape than we were when this first initially started. So to do that, I think we actually have to click on current details, which means hopefully my my little authenticator thing will actually, you know, change over when it needs to. Oh, did it do it? Okay, good. Whew, didn't crash that time. I have it set up so when it detects that the borders are not there, it would flip over to full screen, and it does, thank God. So, anyways, there's our current gauntlet, nothing too crazy. And then we also have our past gauntlet voting. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm sure some of you already know where I'm going with this, but I'm sure some of you are new and haven't been with us since the last, before the last two gauntlets. So this one should be the War of the Clerics, and as you can see, that one was actually quite close. Elise, Priscilla, they were well within striking distance of one another. From there, we also had the Battle of the Mages, and as much as I like Robin, unfortunately, still fairly close, nothing too crazy. But this is where things get ugly. So, from here, we have Wyvern Riders versus Pegasus Knights, and are you ready for the point total, guys? Okay, so, who do you think is going to win? It's pretty obvious. So, Camilla... Yeah, Camilla won there by a good 21 billion. Yeah, that's a lot. That's not a fun little number. That's a straight up curb stomp. That was absolutely disgusting. And that's actually better than the first one, probably because there were a lot more people there. But at least from what I can tell, and here is the first voting gauntlet, the princes versus the princesses. And as much as Ephraim put up such a great fight against Crom, well, you can kind of see here that, yeah, Lucina absolutely obliterated him. No surprise there. So what exactly changed? Well, a few patches ago, when, these whole, curb stomps started happening, IS installed a new system that allowed a multiplier where the disadvantage would then get an advantage, so those who were behind could start to fight back, hopefully, and, get a little bit more edge, possibly win. That was the idea, at least. And, well, it did change things, it did. I mean, Wyvern Flyers and things like that, Wyvern Knights and Riders and all that nonsense. And then, there's a huge, clear, big difference between that and the Mages, and then, of course, the Clerics. So we have a huge change there. But hopefully this will actually... Oh, cool. It actually went back into the game. All right, good. And it detected the... Good. So as you can see here, the multiplier is actually currently in effect. And those who are, on supporting Gaius's army, they have a, 5.8 multiplier, which is great. It means that you will get tons more points for it. And if you put your effort into it and sink your flags in there, it will boost Gaius' score up. But it does not change the problems that I feel are inherent with this system right now. Right now, this is simply put a popularity contest when it should be something I feel a little bit more in depth. Right now, all you really do is you sign up for one thing, and honestly, you don't even have to put much effort into it to actually get feathers. You just kind of, I mean, if you're actually participating in this and you just, you went with Corrin, you don't even have to do really any battles. You can do it once, get your, first rewards and things like that, and then be done with it. Or at least you used to be able to. Now they've actually added a bit more incentive with the orbs and things. It's a step in the right direction. But I still feel that right now this is probably one of the worst systems because it's just so hands-off. In fact, now even more, if you're on the disadvantaged army, you don't really have any real reason to be pitching in at all until you see a point multiplier. At all. You just kind of wait for it. A lot of people don't even bother to help them out. They just kind of go, okay, well, I'm going to store all of my flags and then just bum rush at the instant that that point multiplier's out. Get 400 flags. Usually these things last for an hour, and if you're lucky, you can get, those two attempts in there. Get, how many points it is. I think it's like 100k if it's like at 7.0, multiplier, which is a lot, and it really does toss the system into chaos. That is the only reason right now that Gaius is where he is at the moment, because he just, well, he's not gonna, he wouldn't be able to do this normally. He would not be able to get anywhere close to 14 billion against Corrin of all characters. So I figured I would open this up and just say, well, what would you guys like to do? Because right now there's no easy fix. I don't really see much of it in the way of, changing a lot of what is here. Because, well, simply put, there's not a simple fix for any of this. There's just, I can't really think of too much, but I still feel like this is the weakest thing, possible. It's just a simple Gauntlet that's basically, a simple popularity contest, and then they kind of mire it when they do things like, oh hey, here's all these characters that are of lesser value and lesser names, and bam, here's Corrin. And I'm pretty sure that I think we can all agree right now, while Gaius is putting up a valiant fight, he's still a billion behind, even with multipliers right now. And I've seen multipliers pop up several times during the day, and it still hasn't pushed him over. He was stronger once, maybe once, during the day, and that was quickly obliterated. And not only that, it's also become something of a strategy nowadays. At least from what I've noticed, people are planning things. I've seen, the forums, like a lot of forums, GameFAQs, the Reddit too. What they do is, if you're on a certain team, you just don't do anything. You just kind of wait for that multiplier, and then you try and plan it around certain actions at certain times. That's kind of why Leo and Frederick had such problems. I feel Team Gaius was a lot better at, tapering off their advantages at the right time. Oh, jeez, what? Goodness. Anyways, and basically, they tapered it off just before the voting gauntlet was done, got the multiplier, and then pushed forward. And that's a big reason why Leo lost in his last bit of his arena, because at least from what I saw, like an hour or two before, then Leo was winning. But much to my surprise, a little bit after that, he was not. And then it was over. And that just, I feel like that is just setting up bad practices for this. And it's easily manipulated, and it's easy to, just get tons of points without really participating too much in there. You just go, get some flags, you come back, and you wait for the multiplier. You don't really do much else. You don't really, try and... Hell, a few of the people I've actually, been reading about, they don't even bother getting the orbs that are available, to do it 5 times. They did it 3 times, and the only time they did it was at the end. When Leo was at, when Leo was in clear advantage, and Gaius was not. So they pushed it at that point, and then they won. Not only that, but they got several points in rankings, and they got a ton of feathers from it. So I feel like it's just not the best practice. And it just really, I don't know, it really annoys me. But I really can't think of any solutions to change this outside of completely revamping the system in some way. And, honestly, this is why I don't really... I make a lot of jokes about the Gauntlet because, well, obviously, And you may notice that I don't really spend a lot of flags because honestly, I've gotten to the point where I just don't care enough to actually participate too much. The only times I'm actually doing anything for the Gauntlet is the times that I'm actually recording it. You know, just other times I'm going and I'm leveling up other characters. So I'm just not bothering with it because really there's... Oh, come on, stop turning off. I think the battery's about to die, that's why. Whew, oh boy, I should probably fix that. And it's just... It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. And that's pretty much all I can really talk about. I don't know how you can change it. I don't know how anything else can alter how I feel about it. Everything else is instantaneous. It's a little bit more fun to be a part of. And more often than not, it's not something that I feel frustrated or just downright bored with. And I don't know how I can change it. I don't know how anything can be changed with that. The multiplier was a step in the right direction, but now it's become obvious that people are just going to keep pushing it. So, something's got to give, I think, or, you know, something's got to change. And I'm sure eventually that'll happen, but, I mean, for now, at least it's a good, easy way to, you know, farm feathers without putting much effort into it, I guess. So, yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. What would you change when it came to, well, the voting gauntlet? For now, I'm gonna hop off. I need to go to sleep. I'll take a look at the comments tomorrow. So, well, later today when I wake up. Not tomorrow. It's 3 a.m. Anyways, catch you nerds later. Bye-bye.